2018 number 1 part B. This time they want to know during the time interval, they tell us there are always people in line. For some reason, I don't quite get why they told us that. There might be some reason. I didn't think about it long enough. How many people, but this is the important part, how many people are in line at time t equals 300? So we need to know how many people are in line. So now we need to take into account more of the things that they told us. So for example, we need to know that there were already 20 people in line at time t equals 0. And we also need to know that people are exiting the line at a constant rate of 0.7 people per second. So we have this function r of t, but then we have to, and that's people entering the line, but then here we have people leaving the line. So it's a very typical, if we want to know what's the rate of change of people in the line. So I just made up a function p of t to stand for the people in line, because this r of t is not just that derivative. The rate of change of people in line is r of t, that function, minus 0.7. So it's basically people entering the line minus people leaving the line. Right? So then I can say that our question is how many people are in the line at time 300. So we can just use our old accumulation form. P of 300 equals P of 0 plus the integral from 0 to 300 of P prime of t. Now you don't have to do this P prime thing. You can just put r of t minus 0.7 right away, probably what most people would do. I'm just trying to sort of show where things come from. So this is going to be equal to, so here's our p of 0. There are 20 people in line at time t equals 0. So that p of 0 is 20. And then I'll go ahead and write this integral 0 to 300 of r of t minus 0.7 dt. So a lot of people would have not bothered with this right here. But this is the main engine of this computation. All right, so in my function, so I found it as I'm sort of looking ahead in these problems, they're going to ask things like, when are there no people in line? Where's their minimum? So I'm really going to need p prime of t in my calculator, not just r of t. So one thing that I did is I just went to my y1 and I just added the minus 0.7 in there. So right here, I'm just going to put minus 0.7. So now that function is not just r of t anymore. It's actually p prime of t. Then I can go back to my calculate window, and I can go math 9 for my integral. I'm going to go ahead and put the 20 plus first. 20 plus, and then math 9, because I'm basically just doing this line right here. So I have 20 plus the integral from 0 to 300, and now I can just go vars, y vars 1, dx, and this should just give me straight the number of people. So I just hit enter, and it tells me there are 80 people at time t equals 300. All right, so I just put equals 80, and voila, I'm done with part B. See, this is getting easier now, I think.